What's up? How we doing?
We're back, episode 23. This is 23. Now I'm on it. Last one was 22. We screwed up the last one. I said 21 and it was actually 22. 23. It's John.
It's Matt, and we also got.
We got a special guest. Well, he's been on before.
Yeah.
He's like, I need a formal introduction. Matt's like,
Yeah.
oh, it is. Yeah. The MJ
Got the
of
Space Jams on over there. Hey, I see you right on time. Right on time, bro.
Antonio,
Got my dog in here, man.
co-owner of 4C. I'm like 4C. I don't know why I was gonna say C4.
Cause we explosive, man. No, right.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny because we actually. So, short story. We actually are just 4C now. I mean, literally 4C is. We're cutting everything else. Just 4C. You see us, call us 4C. You know what I'm saying?
4C.
Yeah, because we, copyright and all this other stuff. Yeah, we 4C on the dot. Yep. So.
Look at that. They got merch too. If you guys want to buy some merch, I got some merch over there.
Mm-hmm.
Going online soon.
Yep. You see the 4Cs.
I know. Man.
Yep. So.
How you been? Good? This thing
Yeah.
keeps crapping out. I don't know. Our equipment. We need to get sponsored soon. By
Hell
someone.
Yeah.
By Rain. Or
Bose.
Who's Bose?
Sponsor us. Get some Bose headphones in here.
Oh, Bose. I thought you said Boast. I'm like, who's Boast?
Oh, no, yeah. Bose or whatever. However the fuck. We need that sponsorship, Bose.
Bose.
But yeah, man.
Or whoever. Just sponsor us. I'm kidding.
Yeah. What's good? Updates. What's up with you, John? Where you been at, man?
Just trying to figure out life. Still at 38 years old. It's crazy. I was watching this thing on YouTube about like this guy was interviewing people like in their 70s and 80s, like, just people on the street, and just asking them questions. And some people, like, it's crazy, like some people that old still in their mind think that they're young, and sometimes they're like, my mind's good, like, it's like sometimes you feel like you can do these things and you really can. It's like, and then you kind of look in the mirror and you're like, shit, I'm old. And sometimes I think you get caught up with like, oh man, like, you can do these things, you can do this, you can do that, and your mind's like, no. Your mind's like, yeah, and then you're like, no, I really can't. It's crazy how, like, as you get older too, like, it's true whenever they're like, man, you go to bed a lot earlier times and stuff like that. You're like, yeah, it's great. I don't want to stay out anymore. I guess it just depends. If you did that a lot in your 20s, I mean, I did.
I get that. I remember a couple years back, I started feeling this pain in my hip, and I'm 34, just turned 34
Yeah.
in January, and I started feeling this pain in my hip, and I go, get a scan on my hip, and then they say it's early signs of arthritis. I said, no, it's not. Ain't no way. Playing football, playing sports, the wear and tear.
Yeah.
I played running back, and they're like, oh, it's early signs. How can you say it's an early signs? I'm not even, you would think that's a 50, 40, like a 40, once you hit 40, 45.
There.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I still don't believe it, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Damn, old. I mean, I'm 31, bro. Y'all in a different bracket. I got a couple of years, man. Give me like at least a year or two.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
I went to this. I took some photos for a birthday party. It was 40th birthday party this past Saturday or whenever it was, and I was like, everyone was there, was like having fun. Like, it was like, shit, we're having a ball. It was at a bar in downtown. Like, they kept printing out the whole bar, and I was like, looking at that 40, I'm like, I'm 2 years away from that.
2?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Damn.
You didn't realize John was
I
old?
thought he was 36.
Nah, John
Nah.
old, bro.
Shit.
I'm like,
Jesus.
I'm 2 years away from that. And I'm like,
Oh, them grays are real.
From 40,
Oh.
bro.
Those grays were planted. I thought you
Nope.
was just spraying it gray.
You
nope,
thought
nope,
those were
nope.
stress grays? Nah, that's just old grays.
There's a,
38.
I start seeing like there was like one little gray hair. Like I was like, ah, shit. And there's like a few here.
You see mine?
Yeah, you started to
I'm
get.
rocking this. I almost pulled it out. But it's got that one strand.
Yeah,
Y'all ahead of me.
it just starts to happen. A
I
few
will
here
say I
and
did
there.
have a little heart deal going on a couple weeks ago. Scared the shit out of me. You know, I don't know if that's old age or just stupidity. It's one of the two, but I think probably a combination of both.
Not resting enough.
Yeah,
That's really what it was.
probably. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, we have late nights, early ass mornings, you know what I mean? So I don't think I was giving my body enough rest. I think I was taking too much creatine. I probably was dehydrated. Just,
That creatine will get to you, man.
yep. And I probably could do that early on in my 20s, but goddamn. Now being in my 30s is just a whole different deal. I think my body's a lot different. I got to do smarter things while in my 30s, you know? So, damn, why we start the podcast off with the old shit? we talk about how old we are.
Boys just had birthdays. That's why.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, I guess everybody's birthday just passed by. You know what I'm saying? So, boy, Antonio just hit 34. Yeah, he had a good one. It was about a month ago now, huh? When was your birthday? Close to a month. 16. Yeah.
Oh,
almost a month.
sorry. Mine was 18.
That's right. Same week. Yeah.
Damn.
Mine ain't till September.
September?
September 32, baby.
30.
32.
Yeah, 32 seems so far away
But
for me.
yeah. To dive in, let's start talking about Antonio. I mean, I kind of wanted to bring you on to kind of talk about your prep for everything you got going on right now too, man. For bodybuilding, I think I've been watching you work. I mean, of course, I've seen you do this before, but now like you kicking it in gear, like extra hard. So, boys told me last night he had an hour and a half of cardio to do. I don't know if he did it, but he said he was supposed to do it. You got close?
I got close.
Yeah.
I would say this is by far one of the hardest preps I've ever done. Doing men's physique, you don't think that, like, you look at it from the standpoint, okay, the former athlete, majority of it is, just eating properly and working, right? But then it's you got to take in consideration the social media aspect, right? Every day, every hour, we're on our phones and we're seeing foods and people creating new things, right? And you want to indulge, right? And so that's the mental test. Because living in the city of Houston, you can find good food, great food everywhere, right? And I think that's my biggest issue. As of right now, it's just like it's never been an issue, my nutrition part, but it's like I just rather eat something bad right now. And it's so crazy. It's not the working out, it's not the cardio, it's the not wanting to. And we talk with our clients all the time about nutrition, making healthy choices.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, man, I don't even want to eat this ground turkey and green beans or this, the salmon and asparagus. Like, I really have to dial in and focus on and be disciplined on that side.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing. It's just being disciplined on those eatings because there's times you just kind of want to, like you said, you're just like,
But
Right. But you got to be a little bit more disciplined than the next person, though, too. Like your discipline level is a lot more extreme right now, considering like you got a couple of weeks before you know you got a
3 weeks
couple
out.
of weeks,
Yeah,
right?
3
3
weeks
weeks.
out.
Jesus. So you
So
3
right
weeks
on.
out, right? Exactly. So I mean, compared to like when I hear like clients complain about it's so hard and all this other shit, I'm like, no, what you are doing is really hard.
Right.
Like if we made any of our clients diet prep the way that what you were doing to your body right now, they would have like literally they think it's hard, but it's really no like we're just asking for you to put some consistency into your nutrition, right? And to actually be aware of what you're putting in your body, in a nutshell. So we had this conversation yesterday with one of my clients, and they're like, "Oh, it's the sides." And we heard this. I heard this before too at another one of your clients. It's the sides, and I was like, the first thing I said, I was like, sides, like what sides you need to be eating. You just don't want to eat them. Oh, I want to eat potatoes and mac and cheese and all this stuff. Okay.
They do eat the green beans. It's got to have some bacon and all this other crap in it,
Right.
And so,
Green bean casserole.
Yeah.
Something.
And it's not. I would say this to my clients as well. It's like, we know what to eat. You know what to eat. We're old enough. I mean, I would understand if I had a 16, 17, 18-year-old athlete or, somebody that's just now getting into fitness. But as a grown adult, we know what to eat.
Right.
We know that you don't want to consume too much bread. You don't want to consume too much dairy or drink all the alcohol or mixed drinks and things of that nature. We know what to do, but we convince ourselves that we could work it off. We can train it off. Well, I work out 5 times a week. I can eat bad. I can indulge throughout the week.
Right.
That's not true.
Exactly. I think every person, or at least grown adult, 25 and up, has a general idea of proper nutrition. Like proper nutrition is if all I eat is chicken and spinach, bare basics, chicken and spinach for 3 weeks, I'll probably lose some weight, right?
Yeah.
Something within that context. Maybe not spinach. You can substitute that out with something else, but within that context, meaning if I don't eat out, if I don't go consume alcohol, if I'm not eating burgers for dinner every night, then there's going to be some type of health benefit associated with that, meaning either weight loss or something, right? Feel better, work out better, maybe gain some type of muscle or in general, get more lean tone. But, so, the simplicity is there. It's just, I think more so they don't have most people don't have I think one thing that people like, the reason why we train is people need accountability. So people don't have the accountability. They'll have somebody on their ass like, hey,
but even when
just do it.
But when they do, they find a way to make an excuse.
True that though.
We can sit there and give you the training formula, right? We can give you the exercises, we can give you the workouts, but at the end of the day, it's 80-20. And the same with the nutrition, it's 80-20.
True.
Like you're gonna get it, and when I say 80-20, it's 80 of the client's work and then 20 of the trainer's work, right? And so with the nutrition side, right, 80% of the time, do what you got to do, and then the little 20% throughout the month is, have your fun, indulge a little bit.
Right.
But people don't want to take accountability for themselves, and they don't want to be accountable.
Right.
Because when you do hold them accountable, they'll find an excuse.
Well, this is the thing too. This is the reoccurring statement, right? Well, we kind of talked about this too with another client. They want to put it on you. They want to put it on me. They want to put it on you. It's our fault because they haven't. One of our clients was like, "I'm waiting for the results."
But you lost 15 pounds already in a matter of a month. But you waiting for what results are you waiting for?
That made zero sense to me. Just hearing that in general, minus anything. I'm waiting for the results. Why don't you just put the work in and the time in and actually do better for yourself because it's healthier and this is what you need to do in order to get to where you're trying to go physically. Why do you put that back on me? Antonio, why do trainers get that butt of it? Because then that's like a slap in the face. You telling me that I haven't been showing up because I've been here every time waiting on you. You telling me there's something wrong with my programming, but you reached out to me for a reason, right? There's a reason why you train with me because you know that I know what I'm talking about. So how do you flip it and then make it seem like this is on me? This is you. This is accountability. When the moment when you take the accountability and tell yourself, you know what, I could do better, and do it, that's when you see the best results, right?
So me doing this prep right now, I was just told my brother is my coach, and he told me no carbs. All right. So the next 3 weeks, when he told me it was 4 weeks out, no carbs, right? And so it's straight protein vegetables. Uh, Take out all the additional sugar. So say if it was like a Diet Coke or anything like that, or anything with like Splenda, like take it all out. Like get all that stuff out, um, and go straight protein veggies. Now to go to that extreme, like you really have to be disciplined because I'm sitting there. You start losing energy.
Yeah.
For one, because what is the carbs? The carbs is the fuel, right?
Yeah.
It helps push you throughout your day
Uh-huh.
if you eat the right stuff. And so for me to want to achieve this goal that I have as far as becoming a pro bodybuilder, I have to stay disciplined. But then also, I got to hold myself accountable,
Right.
right? And so last year when I was doing a show, I would tell my guys or even my ladies, my clients, and I'm like, hey, I'm doing this. You know, I would try to convince them to kind of stay as strict as I was. But no, nobody wants to do it.
No.
Nobody wants to do it.
Uh-uh.
It's
hard.
And so people can look at our profession and say, oh, it's not that hard to do. Our customer service level like has to be top tier. Like we have to kind of focus on being the counselor,
Right.
big brother. I don't know what if you want to say like a son-like atmosphere when you have an older client. We got to be kind of, we got to be soft, nurturing, or we
Yeah.
just. And me, I take the majority of the time. I take the hard-nosed coach approach.
Yeah.
It doesn't work all the time.
Right. Yeah. Everyone's a little different.
I think Matt is more so the he'll just smile it off.
Shrug it off.
Yeah,
Well,
I learned, man.
Like I've been in many gym settings and I learned like, I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to training, the customer may not always be right, but the customer is gonna be right. Because if that's not the case, then you gotta have self respect when it comes to like your business, right? You can't be putting your business at risk with certain shit. But when I say customers right, like if there's something that can be done that you should do that's within your boundaries, just do it and then keep it moving. You know what I mean?
That's his approach. I will fire a client with a quickness.
Well,
And it's one of those things where it's I have a bachelor's and a master's in exercise science, so I try to be a little bit on the okay. Well, I've taken the time to do something, right?
yeah.
Get some education. Don't treat me as if I'm beneath you. And that when I say that, it's like if you come in, you hired me, right? And if you come in and I'm like, hey, this is what we have with this, with the calm, voice. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But what do you what do you mean? No, we did that. I'm tired of doing that. But what are we here for? What do you like? What do you like?
Right.
I think he would kind of like laugh it off and try to change things. But me, I'm like, no, I'm not. I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I tried multiple times. I've tried. But it just bothers me to my core when somebody's just straight, blatant disrespectful to you.
so man,
That's true.
like them dunks. I get it. I get that, and I mean, there's certain stuff. I think more so just communication goes into effect. It's more so instead of laughing it off, asking like why, or like, and then going back into it, like you realize that I'm programming this for you, right? Like, and yeah, everybody's different too, right? I can't program everybody the exact same way. So I think that's just kind of where I would probably defer and just be like, look, we can either program you to do this to get these type of results. Okay. But I would more so just ask why and figure it out and tell them like that's not how things work. That's not how it works, you know? I think with me, as far as like laughing stuff off, I laugh off like people just bullshitting in the gym and throwing slugs here and there. But as far as like, I mean, I really haven't had too many situations where people come in and question my authority over the workout. Like, you either gonna do it or not. You know what I mean? And or unless you come in and you already like, you know, I just wouldn't put everybody. I think we've already had this conversation a couple times though, but I don't put everybody on the same training program. You know what I mean? To an extent, like I'll modify and I'll change things for people too. So I'm flexible, but I don't let anybody just push me around, or I'm not gonna make anybody. I'm not gonna do a workout for somebody specifically because that I don't feel like programming. You know what I mean? So it just depends. People are different.
People feel entitled sometimes.
Absolutely, especially if
kinda
they
have
paying
like
you money.
Yeah, they feel like, well, so I told you like before, one thing that like kind of just bugged me, and again, this is a little bit different, but in a way, because it's still programming. When we're at Orange Theory, it's like people would come in, and so you have a template, right? It's like, hey, this is what we're doing today. These are the exercises you're doing. Everyone does them, and some people come in and they're like,
Oh
nah,
yeah,
I just want to do my own thing. I'm like, nah, I don't
exactly.
work like that. And I would not.
Right.
I'd be like, I'd go to be like, what's up? What's going on? Like, you know, not that they're hurt. They just
They
don't
just
want to
don't
do
want to
it.
do it. Yeah, I
They don't
see.
want to do their own thing. And I'm like, nah, you have to. I'm like,
Right.
you know, just because my thing was like, well, if you do your own thing,
Everybody's
then
gonna come in here and do
that
it.
person's going to want to do their own thing. And then so is this other person.
Right.
Then we just become a gym, just a regular
Right.
gym. And it's like, if you want to do that, there's plenty of places around here that you can go
Right.
and do your own thing.
Well, there's also liability at risk too, right? When somebody comes in and they say there's certain shit where I'll see like yesterday we was talking about one of my clients seen Antonio training with one of his pro athletes, like doing pro athletic stuff. Not to say this woman isn't athletic or anything like that, but there's when she's like, oh, I want to do that. And I'm like, I look at him and I look at her and I'm like, he's a pro athlete. There's certain stuff that he's going to do that I don't even want to, try to incorporate into your type of training because you already telling me your knee already hurting. Every other time we do some type of
lunges,
something movement, your back hurt. Like, girl, get out of my face with that. No disrespect to her. I'm like, but it's just different. But
training.
But yeah, liability wise, like if somebody come in Orange Theory or come in a Sweat or in general, let's rewind. If they come in a Juice Box, if they come in any of these fitness studios and they try to do their own thing that's outside the template, they hurt themselves doing whatever it is, right? Whatever movement they got off of Instagram, whatever movement they got off of YouTube, they hurt themselves and then try to complain like, hey, I hurt my back. Like, say they severely hurt themselves, tore the ACL. They try to blame it on something else. The coach is there. No, I seen her or him doing this.
Yeah.
And they were doing it totally wrong.
Yeah.
But it wasn't within my template. Now, who's at risk? Well, because I seen them doing it and I didn't say nothing about it. That puts the business at risk. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what I would say to add on to what kind of goes into you. But then to add on into like our type of training with one-on-ones, stuff like that, when people come in and we already have a set split for a person, but they want to come in and every time they come in, they want to hit glutes and booty, but then, and they coming in 5 days a week, oh, I just want to hit legs all day, just for instance, nobody does that.
Right.
But then we're like, well, no wonder your knees hurt, your back hurt, and they're not even just hurting in general, like you're overtraining.
Yeah.
I think he said this to one of my clients the other day, was like, you're going to plateau. Because she was doing 6 days of training. It's just,
So,
in general, whenever people start
that's a
to
lot.
try to tweak stuff and they go outside of like what we have set, it always puts them at
Hey,
risk.
Instagram has people doing all kinds of crazy shit. And you
Right.
swear that these people that be watching these fitness stuff, they're like trainers all of a sudden. They watch a little bit
I
of
mean, there's so many self-proclaimed trainers now.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, but we already understood. We knew that.
Yeah.
We knew going into
Right.
the business that there's going to be some people that say that they train or they hire me if you want. I do online training or whatever
Right.
it is. Right? And there's so many different frauds, but whatever it is what it is.
I seen this young cat on one of my clients that she trains with. This young cat on her page, like she trained with him a couple times, and she posted like some video footage of him like training her and a couple of other individuals. And I want to say, man, like he kind of went in there for the hype, like he wanted to, but he looked just goofy as hell. Like when I say goofy as hell, like there were no coaching cues, like there was no form, technique, no nothing. He was just kind of telling them to do it in a cool way, and then just sitting back and just watching them do it. But the movements then too was like sketchy, and that's what I'm just like. And whenever I talked to her about it, I was like, "How old is that cat that you train with here and there?" Because that's a whole nother story. But I was like, "How old is this cat?" She's like 25. I'm like, "Why are you 40 something years old trusting a 24, 25-year-old?" With that, no disrespect to 24, 25-year-olds. Like, if you went to school, I mean, we've been 24, 25,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? At that time, and felt like we was the shit too. But,
But
I was 24 as a strength conditioning coach.
Right,
at
exactly.
University.
I think it's more credentials or like
Right.
what have you shown? Like if somebody has you doing something like that, somebody kind of has to adjust it and be like, I don't think like that. You as probably as a
Yeah.
professional, and if you know that client that's like or that person that's that trusts that person, be like, hey, I just don't think like this is the right movement, or what are you trying to do here?
Right.
As a professional, I think you should reach out. Leads me to if you're at a gym, a big box gym, and you're just working out, you see some crazy stuff in there, right? And so people doing some crazy, I'm like, what are you trying to do here? Like, I don't know. But if somebody was doing something kind of like wrong, would you address them? Would you go up to them and be like, hey,
Nope.
let me help you out real quick? You
Your
just
boy
be like,
said no with
just
the
said,
quickness.
peace.
Let them do what they do.
I told you, I'm gonna keep it moving.
Let you do what you're doing. That's all. Because you know why? Because everybody knows. Everybody thinks they're right.
Right. Then that's the
Everybody
thing.
thinks they're right.
That's a
I
good
can
point.
go to any gym right now and walk in there looking how I look, and they'll still think I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And they could be doing freaking, I don't know, cable crossovers or cable flies or whatever, and they're, got
Right.
the arms in a different angle, wrong angle, and they're doing something, and you try to go correct it. They don't get mad at you. So I'd sit there and just say, nope.
Nah, I get that. You be like, man, I ain't about to waste my time. And then at that, from a trainer aspect, that's free game. You know what I'm saying? This is what we get paid for. But I'll play devil's advocate with that. Not everybody, right? There's some people, yes. I think you have to identify the situation. Like, look at who this person is. If this person is an elderly person,
yeah,
like I
it's
remember
kinda like-
at the YMCA, there was a 70-year-old man who used to come in. He was 75, and he used to do like, I'm talking about some of the worst looking stuff for his back, hips, and and as a trainer, I would walk around and I would see him, and I'd be like, the first thing I would do is I'd be like, hey, how's it going? Well, hey, can I add? Can I help you out with something real quick? I think this right here will add to your workout.
Yeah.
And it was a couple times where I showed him a couple things, and he would always be like, man, thank you so much. Now, granted, he would go back to doing it wrong.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where it coming in, training comes into play. It's like, all right, if he really wants to learn how to do it right, he's gonna reach out to me.
Yeah.
So, but
it's so funny. Training fitness is so funny. People, and it's crazy. Sometimes you see people that work out all the time, and like they'll post it like on Instagram maybe or whatever, like social media, and they're just like working out all the time. And like after like even like after a year, a couple of years, you're like you look the same. You're like, but I think for them maybe it's just I don't know. But then again, you don't know what their goals are. I guess if you don't like ask them, some
It
people.
depends,
So,
yeah.
and I'd say this like at Orange Street, the juice box, there was people that would work out. Some of these moms like midday, 8:45 a.m.
Yeah.
or mid morning, and they would see some either like some younger girls or whatever like fit, or some people that they seen going that like just change their physique, and they're like, man, when is my body gonna change? I've been here for like 3 years,
Right.
right? And I'm like, I mean, you can, like, you just have to, like, eat yourself. They're like, yeah, I only really work out just to eat Mexican food and margaritas. And I'm like, okay, well, that's your problem.
Right.
But that's what
I
people,
remember you said this.
some people's, like, that's all they want. They're like, I don't care about, like, getting all fit and everything. I
Right.
just want to keep working out so I don't get big, but I can at least still enjoy my margaritas and my Mexican food and not get huge.
They want to justify their behavior, and without, but I mean, you will gain weight still, even if you work out. Just it'll be a slower process.
Yeah.
And
I feel that.
you know, but
Yeah.
I mean, teach his own. Everybody has I put it like this: everybody has a different different cards that they're dealt. Meaning, timing wise, it may not be your time to kick it in gear as far as eating goes, as far as getting your body together. You have to mentally be in a place to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go the next 2 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to be, if you're not mentally disciplined, you got other stress that you're worried about, all this other stuff going on. It
It's
just may
hard.
not be the time.
It's-
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. Yeah, but just like you said, I think people go through seasons of like, man, I really want to stay, like, I'm dedicated and I want to do this. No matter what it is, they're in the right headspace and they're going to do it. And then they'll do it, and then for a while, and then afterwards, they're kind of just like, oh man, I'm kind of just tired. I'm stressing. I got this thing going on. I got to let this go for a while. It's when you come back from that that's the hard part. After either you've been to this physique place or fitness place, like let's just say for you, right? Like you're training, and then let's just say a few years down the road, fitness is your thing, but then you kind of a lot of stuff happens in your life, right? And you're kind of like put on a little bit of weight, you do this. You already know what it takes, but it's kind of hard. You're kind of just like, damn, I know what it takes, and it's a lot of work, but it's like, am I dedicated enough to go do it again,
Right.
or am I gonna let this?
I think that's what I'm afraid of the most. Not having kids yet, but when I start having kids, getting married and all that, I've been the heavier individual because of coming out off of sports.
Yeah.
Right. Eating those calories as if I'm burning them on the field. Right. And so I've gotten up to 265 at my height. That's not a good weight to be at. And so, yeah, I've found that way to, I found how to lose that weight. Now, you take in, you put in kids into the situation where you got snacks at the house and, they're staying up late and you got the wife with the cravings and she's pregnant. Like, I don't know how I'm going to recover off of that because I believe, I don't know if it's true, but the man's gonna put on weight when the wife is or girlfriend is pregnant, right? You're gonna put on that pregnancy weight as well. But then also you don't want to be the person that's like all in all just into fitness while she's over there gaining weight. So you just kind of take the back seat, takes the back seat.
Yeah, I think you get so. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I think for me, when my daughter's mom was pregnant, it was a little bit different. So I didn't really get to experience some of that stuff. But I think like moving forward, have kids again, I think it'd be different. It's gonna be different. Like people do, you see them and you're like, and some don't recover.
Yeah.
That's a crazy part because I have friends in high school, like that, from high school that did get, which is speaking of, I'm planning our 20-year reunion. It's this year.
Well, you having a 20-year reunion. Jesus Christ.
2003. graduation.
2003. You
Yeah.
was 06. Huh? 7?
So, yeah. So,
Y'all old, man.
but going back to that, like you'll see these guys that I went to high school with, and football players, athletes, all of that. They go through life and then have kids, and it's like, you're like,
Yeah.
dang. But I mean, hey, if you're comfortable and happy, and like for me, my only concern for them is just like health wise, like as long as you're at least doing something, going on walks, doing whatever it might be, just to kind of keep your heart, like just to maintain some kind of like healthy.
Right.
Like I think that's important. But like, I mean, if you feel like, I mean, if you want to look that way and you want to like, you're happy and you live comfortably, then that's fine. Like to each your own. But yeah, you see it and you're just like, dang. And it's crazy because like being in fitness and like at this age in your 30s and you see someone, you're just like, dang man, what happened to you? You know, it's just like you were like this athlete, and it's just like life.
But also, not. I mean, yeah, but I was saying this earlier to some of my clients. Um, my fitness work ethic comes from my mom, right? My mom was an individual that worked in a factory, working 12 hours, 12-hour shifts, and she would. So it's either be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., right, and get off and go walk for 30 to 45 minutes, come back, cook, dinner for us, and then go through her nightly routine. Or it was going in at 7 p.m., getting off at 7 a.m., going for the exercising and walking, and then so it's like sending us to school, or whether it's a birthday, bringing us birthday cake early in the like doing things for her health, and that showed us, okay, you can still work hard and provide for a family, but then you take the time for yourself to work on your own fitness journey. It's when people try to make the excuse and say that they can't do it. I've seen this lady slave in the factory, where it's hot during the summer or cold in the winter, and still do it, right?
Right.
Still be fit. So it's like
It's all between the
it's
ears,
all
man.
about it's what you got to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
One of my best friends now. Um, he's about to be 34. Has a new job, right? But in the last 5 years, he was working for this company and putting in those hours, those 10 hours and 12-hour shifts. Has two children, two little girls, 3 years old, no, four, about to be 4, and one just turned 2, right? And he texted me in December. He was pushing 3 bills, pushing 300, right? And he just came in here 3 days ago, Tom, and he texted me. We kind of collabed on a program and what to eat. Got his macros down, and my man walked in here with 250. Like he really took it upon himself. He said, and that's what he did. He would go work. He would be there for dinner, and then he would put them to bed, and then go to the gym until probably say 9:30 to almost 11.
Yeah.
Right? And he took initiative and he said, "This is what I need to do." Right? And
Yeah. And that's the thing, like for him too, like maybe his inspiration also was like, hey, the kids, I'm at a point in my life, like I know that this isn't healthy, and it's just like, what's gonna change? What's gonna make you change? And I think that's a lot of things in life, but like pertaining to this, like I think for some people, it's like, man, I think a lot of it has to do with kids, like that changes people.
Well,
Do you
people
think
will
so?
say that it is. They'll say that, oh well, my
Like
kids
health.
won't. I have to be, and I do get it. Once they get to that age where if they're playing sports or if they're in a band or orchestra or plays or whatever it is, you got to rip and run. You got to get them there. But it's still not hard for you to make the healthier choice as far as food.
True. Yeah.
You may not have the time to go and get a workout in, but you have time. You can make the healthier choices,
Right.
as far as what you're consuming, or drinking water instead of a Pepsi or Coca-Cola or juice. Like you can still help yourself in that sense.
Yeah.
But people will make the excuse, "Well, I have kids." Well, okay, if you're buying groceries, yeah, you may buy snacks for for your son or your daughter, but you don't have to eat that bag of chips.
Right.
you can still make the healthier decision because you're the adult in this, right?
That's
Right.
true.
And so it's all about what we want to do ourselves.
100%.
And
It was one of my clients. Well, not one of my clients, but somebody else. I remember. I don't remember if John was on the podcast, but I remember Alicia and Russ when we had this conversation with them, and they were saying that when it comes to their kids have to adjust to their schedule, not the other way around, if that makes sense. I do not move my schedule or move my workouts or do this or that because my kids have something. No, we move what my kids have to an extent, right? I'm pretty sure there's a lot more important stuff that you can't skip out on, but at the same time, like in order to have some type of balance with your own self, especially your relationship, like, cause that can take a toll too. Like, if you want to make an excuse for working out, then what's the next thing? Okay, you making excuses. Oh, well, the kids, they just drive me crazy. Uh, we weren't able to go on a date this week. No, do the stuff that while do the stuff that's gonna make you mentally, physically, like, okay. Like, even though the kids are there, at the end of the day, all you have to do is either move some stuff around or just figure it out. A lot of the time, it's just lack of planning, right? Like you said, your boy said, you know what, screw that. I'm gonna just go late night. The only times that I can go, 9 to 11, because I know I need to do this. That's no excuses. That's, I have time. It sucks, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And now I'm down 50
because he knows
pounds.
he has to be up at 5 in the morning, be at work, or 4:45, be at work at 5.
Right.
But it's all about what we want to do. We have become a weak society, mentally weak society, and it's what I think it's a design thing. I think they want us to be weaker because then we can be persuaded to doing certain things.
Right.
But we have to our mentality has to get stronger. We have to understand that anything you put your mind to, you can achieve.
Yeah.
Right? You just got to be focused and disciplined.
That's
You
Absolutely.
really do. And it's not just, it's all aspects of life.
That's it.
Right? It's not just fitness. It's everything we do. We make the excuses for ourselves, and we don't want to hold ourselves accountable. I think in this podcast alone, we've talked about just being accountable for your actions, your own actions, and yourself.
Yeah.
And we find a way, and I do it myself. We all do it. Right? We have times where we, make excuses, and we're like, oh, I can't do this, or oh, I don't have the time to do this, and you really do, but you just find a way to just say, in your mind to create that.
Right. But you want to do it's easier.
Right?
It's easier to.
And it's like I
Skip
sit here in the gym, and I may already worked out. I probably got my workout in, and I probably should have done some more cardio. And Matt will be sitting in here, and I'm like, man, go home, man. I gotta work out. Man, go home, and he'll knock out a 30-minute workout, and then he'll go home. But it's like, I'm like, bro, and that's him just being. Disciplined. He's dedicated. He wants his fitness goals. He wants to achieve a certain level. So he's like, I have to do this before I go home.
Yeah.
And he doesn't leave until he does it. And that's just, being disciplined and holding himself accountable.
Yeah. And that's the tough part because people can't hold themselves accountable a lot of the time.
Right. Absolutely.
And so
that's why they have coaches, trainers.
Right?
Yeah, man. Accountability is key, man. So if you listen to this podcast and you've been trying to figure out what's going on, you need to just go over everything else that you've been doing and figure out if you've been hitting those key marks to where you're gonna be successful. And also, if you have been, then reach out to a professional if you haven't. And,
I think it starts with just making small goals as well. You don't just have to make the biggest change in your life.
Right.
Just make small goals and kind of work off of that. That's really what I find that works the best. It's like, I know that, say, I have some individuals that don't eat enough, right? They don't eat. They probably eat one meal, but it's not like they calculated their macros and they understand that they need 1,800 calories in that one meal and that da 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 da. They just eat one meal and it's damn near
Yeah.
shrimp and spinach,
Yeah.
Right.
right? And they're struggling throughout the day. They're struggling throughout the workout, and so I was, hey, let's try to get 3 meals. Well, what should I eat? And that's where our expertise, and we have partnerships around the city with meal prep companies to where we've started to send them to help out like that side of it, the nutritional side.
Right.
If you don't believe, if you don't want to hear it from us, we'll help you. Go to a
Right.
professional. And
Yeah. There's certain people who I'm just like, I send them straight there to see if, first of all, if they do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I can tell you 100 things, but most of the time I feel like I'm gonna tell you 100 things. It's gonna go through one ear and out the other because you're gonna come back at me the next day looking like, okay, what do I do next? Oh, I forgot. Yeah. So first thing I do is I send them there to see if they're gonna do that. If they do that, then I'm like, okay, they really trying to buy in. You know what I'm saying? That's like, okay, step one. And then from there, we start getting a little bit more in depth, and then we start talking about, okay, are you watching what you eating? Are you packing your meals, etc.? So it kind of just is like almost like a test run. Like, let me test you out and see if you really talking about getting towards or disciplining yourself when it comes to food. And if they take that one little small thing, I'm like, all right, it makes it so much easier. All right, we'll just go there. You'll get your macros, your calories. We'll talk about them when you get here. We'll talk about what we want your body fat to get to, how much weight we need to lose in order to get to where you're trying to go, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like from the beginning, from the first time you meet your client, the first time you talk to them, I feel like you kind of know where they're at in their headspace, and if they're really serious
To an
about
extent,
it.
yeah.
like Matt had an individual walk in yesterday or the day before.
Just a walk-in.
No. She came in trying to have a different mindset. Man. She walked up to Matt and said, "I need to fit into this dress in 2 weeks." I said, "Hold on now. It's not just on Matt. I need to turn it up." Well, what are you eating? Are you really pushing yourself to the max when you're coming in here? Are you giving it? Because I know how Matt trains, and he gives it 100% when he's training. And so you going to somebody that's already giving you 100%. So why do you feel like from that moment you need to turn it up, or why are you going to your coach and saying I need to turn it up?
Yeah.
If you've been working with him for 2 months already, shouldn't you be already in that that mindset of
Right.
let's continue to do what we're doing and let's go,
Right.
But she tried to put all this pressure on Matt and say, hey, let's turn it up.
Funny thing is, I felt no pressure at all. I just be like, but yeah, you kind of jumped in. You kind of just saved my whole breath. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's a good thing
Is it-
about having a partner.
I feel like at times we got to save each other from going into these rants.
Exactly.
We save each other from going into these rants. But also, I want to ask y'all. I was talking about goals and making small goals. I mean, it's the start of the year. What are some of the goals that you have, and what are some of the goals that you have? You're getting ready to get married next year. I know there's a lot of goals that you're locking down on and focusing on. What about
Somebody brought that up earlier this morning when I was leaving Sweat. They was like, "When you get married, all this other stuff." It's just a lot. The biggest goal, of course, is to be able to. I guess that kind of goes into the business too as well. Be able to get this wedding out the way that we want to, like financially, but then also like I think regardless of the financial part of it, it'll still play out nice considering if everybody that we plan to have there is actually there. And then so I think that's one of the biggest things. Let's just complete this wedding. Let's get this wedding out the way. Wedding wise, business wise, of course, me and you, we have our own goals with the business, trying to put it on another level. We got a lease to extend. We got money to, put into the building, but it's all going in the right direction. So that's goal number 2 is to just keep elevating the business.
Right.
And then honestly, by this time next year in general, not even by this time, by the end of the year, I mean, we want to have twice as much business as we currently do. You know what I'm saying? But then also, yeah, for sure. If not that shit, being able to, one of the biggest things we've been working on is trying to look for people that we want to bring into the business that we can trust, and that way we can make money while the business can make money while we're not here. And and then that, like, being able to go on vacations and go places and shit, not just me. Like, if I want my business partner, me and him decide to just go take a trip to Austin, there's no reason why the business needs to stop. Exactly. So getting to that point to where, I think somebody broke it down to me over the weekend, is like, think of like a chart split into fours. You have employed, you got self-employed, you got a business owner, and then you also have financially free, right? The employed, of course, work for somebody. Self-employed, you work for yourself. Business owner has people that work for them. Financially free means they have several businesses. In order to make money, if you're employed, you have to work to make money. If you're self-employed, you still have to work to make money, right? Business owner, you have other people working for you to make money. You may be working too a little bit, but it's not as much as these other two.
Right.
And then the financially free means you have a lot of individuals working for you, and you're not having to lift a finger to an extent, right? There are some things but you're pretty much an overseer of everything. Getting more to that right side of the chart is, of course, both of our main goals, right? So, boom. And then fitness-wise, putting on weight. He knows I'm up. I ain't checked the scale. I'm kind of afraid to, but last time I checked out 187, baby. So I'm going to keep y'all updated on that 187.
What are you trying to get to?
195. It's just, so the heart problem, I think it was because the weight gainer I was taking, the mass gainer I was taking had some creatine in it. Kind of scared the shit out of me for a little bit, so I've been like slowing down on it. But I've been slowly incorporating it back. My heart feels fine, so I think I'm doing it the right way.
Got to check.
I've been drinking water,
What about
a
check?
lot of it. I mean, yeah, that's going to happen. I got the tools to check.
You know how we are as men, we kind of like, I don't feel it no more. I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
You know
No,
what I
you're
mean?
right. 100%
You know what I mean?
right.
Oh.
And I
That is
get
something
it
I need
because
to,
I was out of
for
town
sure.
when it initially happened.
Yeah, no,
And so
for
when
sure.
I came in, I just started hearing, a couple of the people that are working with Matt.
Yeah.
Hey, you good?
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you start seeing him slow down a little bit. And I'm like, and so I was a little concerned. I'm
was.
still concerned because you gotta take care. We gotta take care of ourselves.
He trying to make sure I don't die on the job. I'm not in the gym and pass out.
And so last time we spoke, you had some goals and some things that you were
Yeah.
trying to get into.
No, I think it's, I mean, making that big step, I think it's just getting more into that digital marketing, social media thing. I think is like the year to do it. And if that looks like also me doing it in a business sense for like an employee, and also just doing my stuff as well, photography and video. And I think that's kind of just really has lost them a little bit more. And I think taking that to the next level, and again, just getting experience with either be working somewhere. I have a meeting tomorrow for potentially like with one of the other podcasts I work with. Guys wants to start like a digital marketing company. There's like 4 of us, so it's kind of like he has people already that are interested in getting that done, and so being involved with that. But I think slowly things are kind of just picking up. Have a couple interviews next week, but yeah, man. And then as far as fitness, I've been getting back into the gym routine, and it's like it's not going like hard on, full on, but it's like okay, I'm in there doing something.
You're
Getting
good. Go
moving
ahead.
and stuff like that. So I think like
Come on.
for me, fitness is more of like getting it to that level because I know, like you guys, like I know what it takes. I know what it needs to get to. But I think just getting my feet back into the gym and doing that helps a lot. So
You good? Go ahead. Just
let's get it. But yeah,
you go ahead. Yeah, you get judged. You good?
So yeah, that's it, man. I mean, that's it for me. Really, just kind of just like letting that blossom up and
Yeah.
I don't know. This year just feels different for me in a good way. A lot of
Yeah.
like, so a lot of the times it's been like having a job where it's just been consistent. Like
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I haven't like, and right now it's not that way. And it's just like a whole, it's a different feeling, and it's scary, like it is. And you're
Yeah.
just like, you know, you don't know what direction it's gonna go. Being out there and kind of just like looking for stuff, it definitely makes you puts you up against the wall. And you're kind of like, oh shit,
Yeah.
you gotta do it, you know.
I feel you.
I
But
know. I know one more thing you had on your notes, relationships. Um, no, I'm saying this, for you in your last year of being a fiance.
Hmm.
What have you seen, right? What have you seen, good or bad, or what is
With
things
being
that
a
you?
fiance.
Yeah, I mean, just making that because it was last year, what around this time, right?
Valentine,
It,
yeah,
It was
it
last
it
was
was
year,
Valentine's
exactly
Day.
right?
shit.
It was Valentine's Day.
It was.
So we take we you say it's a year ago. You made that took that leap of faith. Um,
As far as advice, or you saying what have I?
what have you experienced to where it's like, okay, what were the small changes? Because I know there's some changes when that ring gets put on, you make that proposal, right? And then what are the things that you feel like you worked on in this past year to better yourself in your relationship? Because you became a gym owner, a
Yeah, I know.
fiance. You've done so much in this last year, and
Right.
all of it came like a wildfire. You know what I mean? So what have you done as
Yeah.
far as to better yourself or what have you seen that's changed between y'all two? Your relationship, because once y'all, you know, tied or not,
That's it.
I know it's
that's
gonna be
it.
there.
You get what I'm saying? So
Nah, I get it. Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just for me is communicating. I'm not the best communicator, but I've learned like in my relationship with my fiance that I may have to be more of the communicator because she's a little different than I am. She tends to hold things in, and I'm more so like I would rather you just let it out so I can know where your mental is, and we can figure out what to do afterwards. I don't like when people hold things in when they have a problem with me because I'm like, if there's a way to fix it, I'm willing to fix it. It's not because I'm being empathetic, non-empathetic to your feelings. It's just because I don't know sometimes, and I'm really maybe in the green. You know what I mean? Or I might be not in the green, but be green about it. So learning how to communicate within that facet, thinking more so for like long term and longevity wise, like we got to figure each other out because this is it. Like and I say this is it, I mean it in the most happy way. Like I don't plan on doing anything else. Like it's just me and you, and we get past these little bumpy road, our little bumps, which really is not much. I mean, I say a lot about it. I mean, hopefully it gets a little tougher in our relationship soon. But I mean, my fiance is like the best fiance ever. She's very like sweet. You met her. I mean, you guys know her. She's super
great
sweet.
person, great person.
Everybody has their own times, where they're not, themselves, or at least they may act out of character here and there, but she really doesn't. And so I mean, the biggest thing is just communicating better with her and just reassuring her, reassurance. Today I had to actually go over, looked over our website. So she's having all the fun, kind of like doing the website. I need to like pitch in and do my part. I'm like, I need to talk to somebody who's just been married to see like what did they do with their like website and the wedding planning. Because I'm like, to an extent, like I hate to say it, but it's been mostly her, like putting things together. She really just checks things with
That
me.
boy about to be 100
You know what I'm
grand in the
saying?
hole.
Nah. Nope. That's one thing I'm checking. I'm checking these pockets. I'm like, every time we look at something, I'm like, how much that costs? You know what I'm saying? But nah. But yeah, so that's really the biggest thing, and just trying to figure out that we both have the wedding that we want rather than the wedding that we think we want, and then the wedding that you know,
most memorable in the right way.
absolutely memorable. That's why we're doing Mexico, like all this stuff. So
And what about you, man? You know.
Oh yeah, it's a whole different. I think being older, it changes a lot. Like the past year, a lot of it's been uh, kind of just like you said, but like really communicating and being able to understand where someone else comes from and where you come from, and being able to understand their uh, like how they're feeling is, right? So like a lot of the times I think you might be like, oh man, well, can't believe you didn't take the trash can out or the trash out, whatever, just like that. And that other person's like, oh well, I didn't know that I wanted to take the trash can out. I mean, that you wanted me to take the trash out, or I was like, you wanted me to do this. Like, it wasn't agreed on. We didn't talk about it. We didn't discuss it. And so I just thought you take the trash out, right? So it's like you can't get upset because you have to understand where they're coming from. And I'd be like, if I never told you, if I never addressed it, or I never said anything about it, I can't come up and get mad at you. And I think for me, there have been times where in my mind I think like, oh, you should assume to like take the trash out. Like, come on, like anybody. But if somebody is not told, is not aware, doesn't know, or if it's something new to them, be like, I never took the trash out. Or I never did this. I think that's where you have to kind of be like, you know what? I can't get upset. I can't get mad. It's like, you're right. I didn't address it. I think it's one of those things. Like I've learned a lot is just to be more like understanding of people's feelings in a way of just like, but communicating also how you feel. Like if something bothers you, it's like I need to tell you because in the past it's been like you hold it in, and then a month later I'll come back and be like, you didn't take the trash out on that Tuesday 2 months ago, and I'm really mad, and it makes me upset to be like, whoa, why didn't you say something that you were mad, right? So now it's built up to then, and I've learned a lot to be like, and it plays in my head a lot of times. I'll be like, man, it bothers me. Should I say it? Should I not say it? Should I say it? Should I not say it? And I'm like, well, I'm gonna say it. Like we have to have a discussion. If it's bothering me, let's just have a talk about it, and then we'll figure out from there. Let's do it and move on. So I think that's where I've grown, relationship wise. But I think also like just going back, like I think being older now, it's like I've had a lot of fun, and I think for me it's like fun. But I think for me too, it's just like I think I don't know. You're just at that time like you're ready, and it's just like I don't think there's anything. There's nothing that's gonna be like. It's tiring, man. It is. Like you're just like, and it's not to say that I'm settling. It's just that's not the thing. It's not like to say you're settling. It's just you just know when you know. Like it's time for you to like. It doesn't matter if it's this person, the next person, the person after that. You just know. Yeah.
I feel you. Well, let's finish it off at Antonio, man. Goals and everything that you just kind of went over with us, because you really the guest speaker. You were there asking us questions.
Listen,
He did get good at that. He was like, "Hey, what do you?"
I know. Goals for me.
Business wise, let's go business first.
Business wise.
Relationship second.
Business wise, increase the clientele. Put together an outstanding program, you and I, to where it's unmatched against any other facility that tries to compete against us. Because I feel like two heads is better than one, and putting us together.
Absolutely.
I think, it was a blessing for us to meet each other years ago on a double date, right?
Oh, that's right.
And, you know what I mean?
That's funny.
And so being two fitness experts, us years later coming together, I feel like us putting something together to where all ages can come in here and get the best possible workout they can get. That's one of the goals. Really understand and focus on financial literacy. Like really hunker down and budget and focus on really how to build, get into that direction of building generational wealth. So that means finding networking with people to make more business deals. I feel like, you know, off of this business, we can go into rooms with other individuals and create something even bigger than
Absolutely.
just this.
And so, yeah.
And so
Expand.
networking more, that's another goal of mine. Not only for myself, but for 4C Fitness. So those are, and read more, for sure.
Got it.
Read more.
Yep.
That's another goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I sit here with bachelor's and master's. I'm like, man, I've read a lot of
I feel you.
textbooks, but can I,
I feel you.
there's certain things that I feel like I need to dive into.
Right.
One thing I've done at the start of this year, I eliminated, I eliminated certain friend groups, or I guess I took myself away from certain friend groups because
Right.
I felt like it wasn't good for my mental health.
Right.
So that was a goal of mine, is to shift in a different.
In a different way.
Right. Nah, I was just looking at it.
But and then relationship. I'm in a long distance relationship,
Yeah.
and so
But he booed up though,
yeah,
ladies. So
communication
y'all.
is key. And you guys say communication and assuming. Yeah, like
Man,
that's I've she got on me about assuming, and it was like assuming she was feeling this way, or assuming that she wanted to do something. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like had to shut that down and kind of kind of redo things in my head and understand that all of it's a learning process.
Yeah.
You don't know, so stop assuming. So you got to ask questions. So you have to communicate, right?
Yes.
You really got to communicate.
That's the tough part.
Right.
It's tough, and it's hard sometimes for a guy because I think like sometimes one as maybe like as a male you don't want to like you assume, and for you to ask questions it's almost like I don't need to ask you a question. Like, I'm assuming it's almost like sometimes I feel like guys just feel like they know they're right about things. They're like, no, I know. But it's like, no, I just ask, and I think the woman would just be more open to you. Just ask, like, just
Right.
ask me. You know, because in long distance relationships are tough. I was in a long distance relationship. We were together for a little bit, and then when she moved away, I think we were together maybe for like 2-3 months after that. And that was on me though, right? And one, it was like insecurities, assuming all these things, not communicating how I was feeling, and it's just like, and then it was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't, because she was going to med school. And she was like, I can't handle your shit and handle med school. Like, what's more important right now? Med school, absolutely. So I get it. Yeah. So respect means.
But salute to you though, my man. Like I'm proud of you.
Yeah, to be honest with you, one of the things I had to realize was we're still two individuals that are growing, but also that I can make it work because I'm not the one who's going to be out in the clubs or searching for anybody else. Because what is my biggest goal and my biggest mission is to make this successful.
Right.
So I got one of my biggest focuses is this. So that can work. I still put in time in that relationship, but I just understand that I'm not going to be out and about, running around because this is if I'm not here, I'm at home because I'm exhausted.
Yeah. That's it, man. I think that's it. Yeah. I get that. That whole club thing, man. That sucks. I see people's Instagram. I'm like, I'm tired just looking at you.
They're still doing it.
I'm like, yeah, people like, you're like,
how you still doing it?
We was talking about an individual the other day, and she be out. And I don't think she gonna listen to this podcast, so we good. We can talk about her all day. She be out. Then Tony was like, "You just getting older, and you ain't tired, like."
Man, I get it. 23, 24, 25, 20.
She about 28, 29.
Yeah. Rip and run. At this time, you need to be at a conference somewhere. Stop. Man.
I'm telling you.
For real though, man. We at a different walk in our life to where all that, it ain't even important. It ain't. no, it weighs no type of importance in our life to go and pop bottles. And I mean, maybe if we celebrating, like, shoot,
Like a,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
like a big
And a big
accomplishment, like,
exactly.
yeah, but not like, yo, we're out every weekend,
Nah,
every other
man.
weekend. It's just like, oh, we're just gonna go hang out at this club, or we're gonna go to this club, check it out, blah blah blah. Like,
Right. I'm first of all, y'all older than me. Y'all old, so
Boy,
my
we said
recovery is
y'all
trash. My recovery is trash. The next morning, I'm always like, if I got something in the morning, you might as well just count that out or something. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be trash at whatever it is. My recovery is absolutely trash. My head hurts, my body be aching. I ain't getting nothing done, and then the whole day is a wash. So
that's the thing. That's what gets me, and I just feel like yeah, you feel like shit, but then you also like look at yourself because if you talk about like, yo, my focus is on this. If you do go out and you start to feel like crap the next day, and you're like, man, I got to get this done, this done, this done, but you can't give it 100% or even like 90% because you're feeling like shit, and then you kind of get down on yourself. You're like, man, you know what? I shouldn't have done that because I could be doing so much more work right now
right,
and be more productive than having to feel like shit all day.
You know,
exactly.
and one more thing, my ass do not. I don't want to buy no $500 bottle and I can get it for 35, 40.
That's a good point.
So that's that.
Great
you know,
point.
being responsible,
Financially,
you know.
That's true. Yeah, because you
Yeah.
can go somewhere, you're like,
Man, we used to do that.
You're right though. It
even
makes
if you
zero
do, bro,
sense.
even
I
if you
know.
go buy a beer, bro,
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
always like, you go buy 2 beers
Yeah.
somewhere, like at a bar, and it's probably like $12, $13. I'm like, yo, I could have saved myself that. Bought a 6-pack,
Yeah, no, for sure.
chilled at the house,
Exactly.
and like just ate your like.
Exactly.
It ain't economical at all.
You're like, what do I care if I'm out here? Like, I should just buy me a 6-pack and take it to the house.
Hey,
You paying for the vibes.
100%.
That's it. That's it. Paid for the vibes.
Paying for the vibes.
Hey, but
Wrap it
yeah,
up, man.
yeah, wrap it up. I appreciate you coming on, my man. Look, we gonna have Antonio more often,
y'all
man.
having us, man.
Yeah.
We always chop it up and have a good one, man. So
Yeah, we're gonna get shots. We have more.
I know, right?
topics, so
Whenever,
Hey, man,
I
I'm
know,
here.
right?
I'm here
Anytime
for
you
it.
just pull up, and
Yeah.
if we record, you just hop in and say some shit. Like, even if we got a guest, I don't give a shit.
I'm not bringing the fatherhood, but I'm bringing the fitness.
Yeah,
There you
no,
go.
for sure. No, but the last couple pods we've had was just strictly everything else. We haven't really been fitness based until today, so it's a good one.
Oh, we got another topic. So next time I come on,
Just-
y'all might hit it. But
Just say
What
it.
is it?
You can
No,
say
I'm
it.
gonna
Though.
Let's tease it.
Huh?
We'll tease it for next time.
Me and you had a conversation a couple of days ago. You said, "Man, my daughter's about to be 18.
Oh yeah.
She's about to, go off to college and everything else. So we got to talk about, the next journey of
Oh,
fatherhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm
College. One day they should be married and things of that nature.
Good luck, John.
Boys.
That's true.
Remember that? That was a kind of just little
Yeah.
small conversation we had.
Yeah.
I ain't ready for that combo. Y'all can have that one.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Next time.
I need about 3-4 more years before I had that combo. But nah,
Mac gonna hit
that's a good
somebody.
one.
He gonna do it. I'm gonna pull up. We're
No,
gonna
what
do
we
the
gonna
bad
do?
boys.
I was gonna say this Will Smith right here.
We're gonna do this.
He's like, hey.
Reggie.
Exactly.
Reggie.
Oh man.
Hey,
Oh, Reggie's name was Reggie.
this has been a Fathers in Fitness episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. That'd be a good little closer though. I like that. This has been Fathers in Fitness. We signing out. We good?
We out.
All right. Deuce.
Peace.